Welcome to Women in the Arena podcast, the podcast celebrating women doing extraordinary things in plain sight. I'm your host, Audra Egan, and our mission is to elevate the value, strength, and resilience each woman brings to the world. Without further delay, let's go ahead and start the show. Welcome in, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Audra, your host of Women in the Arena podcast, where we celebrate women doing extraordinary things in plain sight. This will be our last interview of 2020, because the last 2 weeks we're going to do something special for you. But I wanted to do something really unique this time, something really special to get us ready for 2021. I wanted us to review our 2020 experience and take with us the good experiences and throw out the bad. We don't want to take any luggage or baggage into 2021 that we don't need. So let's lighten the load, hang on tight. I hope you enjoy these ladies. They're going to help walk us through the process of getting rid of the baggage of 2020 and taking with us the good into 2021. I can't wait for you to meet them, and I hope you enjoy the experience. So let's start the show. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is our last episode of 2020. What you'll hear for the remainder of the month is some interesting treats and some music and some meditations, but this is our last official interview of 2020. I've invited some ladies with me to talk to us about 2020 and how we prepare to end the year and how we start 2021 on a positive note. So I am joined by two amazing ladies today. I have Cynthia DeLorenzi and Katz Gibbs. These ladies are amazing. Cynthia has a TED Talk, and she's an international motivational speaker. She's an expert interviewer, a moderator, co-author, social media expert, consultant. She's amazing. She never sits still. Katz, she is a journalist, a publicist, an author, and a social entrepreneur. These ladies, they are very, very talented, and I can't wait for you to meet them. So Cynthia and Hope, thank you so much for joining me today, and welcome to the show.
Delighted to be here.
I am so excited for you to be here and help celebrate the end of 2020, which I think we've all been excited for the end to come. But before we dive into that, would you both tell us a little bit more about yourselves so we can get to know each other a little bit better? Cynthia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm actually a nerd and a geek, and I just pretend to be a girl on TV. But I ran an IT company in Washington, D.C., and coming from Texas, when I relocated there, I found myself kind of in a vacuum once you kind of reach a high level of leadership, you're a CEO of a company, and you relocate, it's kind of hard to build that network of girlfriends that you so heavily rely on as you're building your career. And so I had a one-time networking event to say goodbye to Sex and the City. It was a joke. It got leaked to the press. The event sold out. And we started an organization called Success in the City. And I have built this incredible network of amazing women like you and Hope that now are lifetime friends. So that's a little bit of my backstory. And I've moved to Las Cruces, New Mexico, and I'm working with Hope and doing things I love to do. And also I'm an artist. So a little bit of everything.
You, like I said, you never sit still because you're constantly creating. Hope, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here with you. I'm thrilled to be partnering or collaborating with Miss Cynthia DeLorenzi, who is truly a Renaissance woman. She is an inspiration, as are you, Audra. Really honored that all these amazing women, and so many more increasingly are doing these podcasts and really trying to raise the voice of women, which is my mission. As you said earlier, I'm a journalist. I've been a reporter since I graduated from the University of Pennsylvania way back in 1986. I have two amazing kids in their 20s. And now I'm in Las Cruces working with Cynthia as much as I possibly can to spread the word and through my magazine, incandescentwomen.com. So we're working right now on our first collaborative book together called Your 2021 What's Next Journal, because we're really looking forward to what's on the horizon and saying goodbye to 2020, and which Cynthia calls Hasta la vista, baby. So that's the cover story for our December 2020 issue, where we announce the What's Next Journal and our project. And so we're thrilled that you are our launch. You are helping us launch this new project.
I am, and I'm super excited. In the event that you all weren't able to catch it in October, I was very fortunate and very honored to be featured in the Incandescent magazine for October. These ladies were very kind to feature me, and they came and said, "You know what? 2020's been rough." And we said, let's say goodbye to it, but let's say goodbye to it in style. So that's what we're going to do here today with Hasta la Vista, baby. But I wanted to start with 2020 has been a year of growth opportunities. And I've said it many times before, and this year has definitely proved it, that growth, true growth, only happens in the middle of difficulty, in the middle of controversy, in the middle of struggle. So for both you, Cynthia, and Hope, what has 2020 opened for you? What opportunity have you been given in the middle of this dilemma?
Wow. It's small shifts that were gigantic. I often tell people when I moved to Las Cruces that my life became much smaller, but in truth, it then was much bigger. It became really focused on the things that really matter to us as people. That a moment of taking a walk was even more important than it had ever been before. So the wins have been really tightening my relationship with my husband, really building my bonds using technology with my children, which has been the most challenging thing for me. I've never gone a year without seeing my children or my granddaughter. That has been my biggest heartache and difficulty. And then living in a place of fear. And fear, I mean that because there is an unseen virus that has a name, but you don't know who's got it standing where you go when you're exposed. And because my husband has a heart condition, I have to be very careful in protecting him. So that's been my struggle, but also knowing that it's deepened our relationship and recognizing how much we care for each other. Because I always tell my husband, could you imagine if I said, don't wear a mask? So,
oh my gosh.
So it's kind of that approach. So yeah, so those have been the things that the gains and losses. And then having the chance to learn to work remotely with Hope, that's been a lot of fun and a growth experience.
And Hope, what have you gained in the middle of this dilemma that is 2020?
This has been such a fascinating, fabulous year. I've been making big changes in my life for years now, but most specifically in the last 2 years. I sold 2 houses and moved across the country in the summer of 2019 to go back to graduate school at 55. I had been living in Richmond, Virginia. My kids are there. My ex-husband is there. My business was there. And I just decided I wasn't happy with the trajectory, what I was doing. And I was privileged enough and savvy enough to save us some money and make a different choice. So graduate school at Claremont Graduate University in Southern Cal, which is about 30 miles east of LA. I packed up and drove across the country with my son. He flew back to go to his third year at UVA that summer. On the way, we stopped here to visit Cynthia, which is what got us what introduced me to Las Cruces for the first time. And then I went off to study positive psychology. Little did I know that I needed to master mathematics, statistics in particular. That was the lock in the key, or the key in the lock that turned the door. And no, that wasn't happening. And Cynthia would talk to me for hours, kind of talking, yes, you can. I'm like, no, I really can't. So I did a semester, and I'm so pleased and proud of myself for doing that. So last December, my son came out to visit me in California, and, he said, so what's next? What are you going to do next? And I went through a whole months of trying to figure that out until Cynthia finally said, why don't you just move here and we'll collaborate? And I thought, oh my God, that's fantastic. So I moved here July 1st. Summers tend to be big transition periods for me. And now here we go, and we're building and meeting new people. Incandescent Women magazine is doing really well. It's getting lots of attention online. And I also have a second magazine, Incandescent Health and Wellness magazine, at beincandescent.com. So the two of those projects are really exciting. And on the horizon is Incandescent Kids magazine, where we're going to help kids think like reporters and publish their work. So it's fantastic. I'm grateful. I'm a little freaked out. I'm actually here all by myself. My son was with me for 7 months, and now he's back in Richmond. So I literally know Cynthia and a friend, another wonderful woman, Lisa Luca, who is here in Las Cruces, and my realtor. Okay, it's my choice. It's a deep dive into what it means to be me. And at 56 now, I think it's important that I really answer that question with the goal of helping other women also look deeply at what they truly want and know that they can have whatever they want. They just need to take the steps to get there.
I want to dive a little bit deeper into that, because we have had several guests on the show that have reinvented their lives after 50. And because, there's this weird stigma about, okay, you turn 50 and it's all downhill from there. I would disagree. I'm going to be 50 in 6 months. And first of all, mentally, I think I'm 21 years old. But I'm starting to feel better about not only about myself physically, because I take better care of myself physically, but emotionally and mentally. I'm looking forward to 50. And I'm inspired by these women telling their stories about what they've done after 50. And both of you ladies have done that. You both decided to take the opportunity to reinvent yourselves after 50. So as we are saying goodbye to 2020 in style, for those of us that are turning 50 in 2021, what do we have to look forward to?
I think there's so much. I mean, you have so many. I'm a generation ahead of you. And I look at when we broke into this world of women joining work. And I remember when I used to work, I used to wear suits just like my husband. One time my husband came in and he yelled at me in the back room because he was pulling out winter clothes. He goes, Cynthia, what did you do to my suit? And it was a size 4, and he wore like a size 40. And I go, that's my suit. And things have changed now where you can be feminine. You don't feel so constrained. And I've always hated that sense of constraint, of expectation of women. So I feel like we have incredible, incredible opportunities. And then I look at Hope and I look at you and how you're defining it. And we couldn't have done all those things, but you're using technology, you're using experiences, you're looking at what other people are doing. We're no longer letting other people define us. We're setting the terms, because the conventional way we worked doesn't work for women. Unless we make the environment where women can easily care for their families and their children and take care of their lives with all the responsibilities that they have, it doesn't always work. And that's why you see more women start their own businesses than men do. And it's at an impressive rate. But you look at who's being hurt during the pandemic, the greatest are women. So we've got to continue to find that place where women are encouraged, supported, and given the resources to build and grow and do what they want to do, because women make incredible, incredible leaders and incredible businesses. So I'm excited for you guys. You don't even know what's coming, but it's going to be so awesome.
I'm really looking forward to it, and Hope, you are such an inspiration that at 54, you've decided, yeah, I think I'm going to go get my master's and move across the country. That just excites me that you were brave enough and invested enough in yourself that you did that. I think that is just so, so awesome.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
so and ladies, so I said that for a reason because, like I said, there's a lot to hope for in 2021. There's a lot of expectation for 2021, but we can't get there until we properly pack up 2020 and put it away. And you ladies have developed a journal and a course in how to basically pack things up, work with that, take what's good, leave the bad, and move on. But what have you done to help guide us through? How should I say? Coming to terms with 2020 and getting us prepared for whatever is next in 2021.
Well, Hope and I have conversations all the time, and the conversation began with, what's next and where do we go from here? And that was a conversation I was having with my friends all around the country and the world. It's because it's unpredictable. We don't know. Normally we know what's going to happen the next day, the next week, the next month in our careers, but the entire world has shifted. And Hope and I talked about it. I said, normally in our friendships, like I could be having an earthquake in my life, but you're in a steady place and we talk and we help support each other. This is the first time that the world has shared in this common earthquake. So life is not steady, and that unpredictability is very difficult. It's knowing where our next paycheck, our confidence, everything has been shattered. So through these conversations and Hope being the writer that she is and publisher, she goes, we need to go talk to other women about this. And I said, you go, girl. And I have to give her snaps. You've got to, if you ever look up Hope Katz Gibbs, you've got to go and look at her 100 Truly Amazing Women. She's interviewed amazing women around the world. So do check that out. But we talked about it. We go, how do you help women now through this period? We said a journal. That's what we need to do. But a journal not like any other journal, where we really give them the prompts to make the shift. And as we began the conversation, I said, you know what we don't ever do when we start? I always come up to the new year and I go, oh, do I want to do resolutions? I never do my resolutions. I never complete them. Or, by the third month or this third week, I'm not doing what I said I was going to do. And we talked about it. And I said, you know what we don't do? We actually need to start working on our new year in the last year, the last month of the year we're leaving. If you think about any time we've made incredible changes in our life, we formally said goodbye. And we need to set up the process. And no matter how you do it, it is important that you acknowledge, explore, and formally say goodbye to the things that were your wins and your losses, your pains, your hurts, your fears, the people that you need to separate from. We don't do that. And so we began this journal by helping you being able. So you start your journal in December, which is, okay, hasta la vista, baby. We're going to get it out there.
And Hope, you helped drive this. You helped write this because of the journalist in you. What are the pieces in here that are little tidbits that are going to help get us started?
Well, so the journal is divided obviously by months, and we're setting it up so you can buy it per month, because sometimes you buy a journal and you get January, February, and then by like June, what was that for and why is that? So we're letting people buy it by the month, or they can buy a quarter or half a year of the whole thing. And of course, there are discounts if you buy more. But what we've done is we've tapped into Cynthia's network and mine as well to interview a dozen women that we know are changing lives, making strides, and really impacting what the future will look like. So January's cover story is Dr. Karen Iverson. She talks about what's next in the pandemic. She's here in Las Cruces, just amazing. And in February, Laverne Gordon, who started the Love Life Now Foundation, She is a domestic abuse survivor, and she's created this foundation. It was her platform when she was in beauty pageants, and she's from Haiti, and just amazing, amazing. And then August is, the woman Brianna Ruelas in Texas, who is she teaches people to get onto American Idol. And so each woman just has done amazing things. So it's their bio and their what's next for their industry, their lives, for women in the world. And then we launch into the prompts that Cynthia just talked about. So my Be Incandescent Health and Wellness magazine is the business of mind, body, spirit, soul, and heart. So Cynthia and I have taken each of those ideas and created prompts. So the mind prompt is a writing prompt. And we'll tell you a little bit about what December's issue has for people to write down. She's the artist, Cynthia.art. She's just amazing. In fact, she's one of the superstars in my new incandescent shop, where some of our clients are selling their goodies in our Shopify store. And then we're also doing affirmations. So we put a call out to about 100 women over the weekend to ask them to send us their affirmations. And we can talk with you a little bit about what that looks like, because we'd very much like to get yours in there. And then we asked for body, we asked a dozen exercise enthusiasts, from yoga to bikers to runners. I'm actually a Kundalini trained yoga teacher and a yin teacher. And I really think that, getting people into their bodies is important, but not everyone wants to do yoga. So we've expanded that. And then the final component of the prompts is the heart prompt. What opens your heart? And it's sort of like, your belly is attached to your heart, right? So right. Kim Katz Alvarez is actually an award-winning chef in Philadelphia. So she is helping us reach out to a dozen of her female chefs to send us their amazing recipes. So that is definitely part of what the journal is. Each has a component. Each month has a theme. And each month we hope that people get to the next level with the most important component that Cynthia and I really have in our hearts, which is we want women to know that they're not alone. We are building a community of women that support each other for real. And, bring what you have to the party, kind of like a kibbutz, and take what you need. And we're here as that backdrop.
This sounds really exciting. I cannot wait to go on this journey with you. But like Cynthia said, we got to say goodbye to 2020. How do we properly do that?
I'm so excited about this. And I'm going to share some ideas with you that, number one, they may sound kind of spiritual or hokey, but think about when you say goodbye to something and what that's like for you. So one of the things is we're going to have you write down all your accomplishments, all the wins, look back at all the good things that's happened in 2020. And you may be struggling with that because there were a lot of things that weren't good. And you need to take a hard look at those things that you're ready to, push your hands together and say, I am done with that. I am done with you. I am done with this feeling. And we want to get those written down. And we want you to go. And one of the things we want you to do is take those negative things, even the people, that neighbor who drives you crazy, all of the people that maybe that they've been on a journey with you, but it's time to separate as you make this next growth or leap in your life. And we encourage you to take those, write them down, and then grab a glass of wine, sit down, ponder those things, and then go out and light a fire and burn those things. Now, it's like, how do you get rid of bad stuff? By burning them. But sometimes it's those simple acts of firmly saying goodbye. Sometimes we're just all loosey-goosey and we don't stand up to it. But you've got to acknowledge what it is you're willing to let go. And my husband does it with me, and he thinks all the things I do are crazy. But he goes, hey, you need to put that on our vision board. My husband would never have had a vision board. But when I did, and then we end up having something he wanted, he always goes, that really does work. So you need to come in and you've got to be prepared to say goodbye. And I'm going to share something with you, a mantra that I say that has changed my life time and again. And I mentor a lot of women. And the thing is to say, I bless you with love. I release you and let you go. You are free and I am free. And I'm going to repeat that. So I hope your listeners will write this down.
And I'm writing it down too.
Yes. I bless you with love. I release you and let you go. You are free and I am free. Now, when I take that, you can write that on a paper. You could put that and write the negativity thing. or if it's a person or something that's so negative in your life, then I take that, I meditate on it, I think about it, I try to really put that in my body to release it. And then I have an image of taking that, crumpling up that piece of paper, and I see it becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. And then I fling it out into the universe and let it float away. And it doesn't always work the first time, but repeat that. And if something's bothering you, repeat it. If you've got a manager at your work that makes you nuts, just realize that you are in a place of freedom and so are they, and let them go. And when we begin to let those things that tie us down go, we really make incredible strides. So that's one of our tips that we have here. And we've got a bunch of other ones that we're going to help you.
I'm looking forward to the burning part. I really am.
Yeah. And if you
That excites me.
Yeah, put it in a bowl, whatever you need to do. Do those things and do it repeatedly, because it will make you feel much stronger. And you'll be able to feel a sense of relief in letting things go.
So that's the first step. I'm taking notes. What's the next step in properly saying goodbye and walking away?
So in the introduction to the December issue, Cynthia has really helped craft this most beautiful list. So that letting go piece, but there's also the component of giving thanks for what you do have. I think that's so essential. I talk to people all the time. I just finished my training as a Martha Beck life coach. I wanted to really understand some of these access tools to get people to help go deeper. And I think being grateful, we all know gratitude journals and we should be grateful for everything. And sometimes that's really hard when we're looking around and we see the world is a little scary right now.
Especially this year. Especially this year. We're going to have to hunt kind of hard for gratitude to feel thankful. It's there. It 100% is there, but we're going to have to work a little harder to recognize it this year.
And I think that's actually a really fun exercise, because I look back on my life. I separated from my husband in November of 2014. And my journey since, I just started doing everything on my bucket list. And I can tell you how grateful I am right now that I did everything that my heart pulled me to do. Because now, we're sequestered and we can't quite do what we want to do for, romp around the world as we choose. So I'm grateful that I had the intuition to do it. I'm grateful that my kids are doing well and that they have the wherewithal to sort of stay put during this pandemic, and the list goes on. So I think that, as you go deeper into who you are as a human being, and you're just, grateful for the littlest things, that you can breathe when, millions of people around the world are struggling with that right now, and really embody it, right? So that you're completely in that joy, because that changes your vibration, as Cynthia was saying, just write it down, burn it off, because their stuff is their stuff. And you had these wishes for relationships or experiences that didn't pan out. So where do you put your energy, right? Burn off the stuff that's not working, be grateful for the stuff that is, and then you become that clearer channel so that you can make strides and change lives.
So I got a chance to get a sneak peek to your list, and I looked at one of the steps that I think is really, really important. So you've just discussed how we say goodbye, how we're thankful, but then there's another piece that I think is really important to discuss, which is setting the stage for positive change. So I know that it's important to do those two steps before, but if you don't set the stage to welcome in positive change, then those other two steps are only half the story. So how do we open the welcome mat, if you will, for positive change?
Well, one of the things I always tell people too is I keep around my desk images of things that are really important to me. And one of the things is I have a picture of just a flowing river of water. And it's not a raging river, it's just a gently flowing river. And what that has to do with currency. And you have to bring currency into your life. And to make currency, which also means money, we have to, as in water flowing by, you have to realize that you have to take the things that are for you. So much stuff comes in through us, to us. We're inundated with information, with feelings, with emotions, with sights, with sounds. We don't have to own all of that. when you have currency going through you, take what is supposed to be yours and let go of everything else. Your neighbor's issue, your girlfriend's issue, some people just call and complain. That's not your stuff. You deal with your stuff. Don't take theirs. The other important thing to do is to make room for opportunity and blessings to land. And one of the things we say is clean out your working space, clean out your wallet. The end of this year, it's really important you do these. Clean out your wallet, clean out your purse, check the pockets in your coat. Make sure that you have all of these spaces so that good fortune, opportunity, your blessings can come to you. And I know this sounds in a way hokey pokey. And I mean, I come from a tech background. I know what it's like to be working from a space of logic and analytics. But when you create this opportunity, our body senses it. When we keep positive images around us, what happens is we will act on the positive subconsciously. If there's something you want to go towards, your instincts will step in and say, oh, this is intentional for you. And subconsciously, you will walk towards that, which is why Hope is doing and is where she is today. Audra, why you're doing what you're doing, because you knew intuitively this is where you needed to go. So what you want to do is create the space around you so that this grows in plenty and in abundance and in ease. So those are some of the additional guidelines we have for you.
And then one of the other steps that you have here is it's time to celebrate. That might be my most favorite step of them all is celebrating, which is celebrating that you said in your quote, it says have a private party for a farewell to 2020. Have a farewell party to 2020. How do we throw ourselves a private party to say goodbye 2020?
How would you throw a party for a friend? It's grab a glass of wine, take a walk, maybe just set yourself a meal in front of just for you with whatever your favorite thing you need to do. Light candles, make it romantic. I mean, it's about loving yourself. So light candles, take a bubble bath, do the things that you do to celebrate that you've made it to the end of the year, because that is huge. So those are just some of the things that I would do. What would you guys do to celebrate?
Oh my gosh, what I would do personally, probably wine, a bubble bath, and shut the music and shut the door and lock it so nobody can come in and bother me. That's how I would celebrate it.
Dance like nobody's watching.
Exactly. I mean, I dance, and it doesn't matter who's watching. If it strikes me and the mood hits me, I just dance wherever I am. But Hope, how would you celebrate saying goodbye to 2020?
I try and do this every day, actually. I'll be alone by myself here for the holidays, and people are like, "Oh, we're worried about you." I'm like, no, it's okay. I think we should love each other every day and celebrate every day, because that's what we have. That's all we have is today. And of course, we all look toward tomorrow and what we want to do and what we're excited about, So I sit by myself. I have dinner by candlelight. I dance around. I take baths. It's interesting. I'm working on another book called Why Divorce? 5 Reasons to Leave. And in the introduction, I talk about what my experience was like, what my love story was. And I remember having, raised kids and been married for 25 years. I couldn't remember what I liked to eat because I had been feeding other people for so long. And it was this really interesting unpacking of what was special for me, just being me. And when my son was here, I was feeding him for 7 months, and then he left 3 weeks ago. And now I'm like, So I've been in a process of doing that again. And I find it a really interesting exercise. I talk to a lot of women, and they're like, I don't have any me time. And I always say, it's wonderful to have me time all the time, but it's also, it's a little overwhelming to do that. So that balance of what you have and being grateful for it and celebrating it, right? I was talking to a client last night, and he was saying that, his kids came home from college and he's going to have to make dinner and I said, but how cool. Your kids are there and you get to make dinner, right? So it's it's all how you look at everything. And Cynthia really, she embodies and embraces all of the advice. She has been such a guide, and I'm just so honored to have her as a collaborator because her words and her work are very, very true and heartfelt. So it's an honor to just be here right now, right, and be breathing.
Ladies, you make saying goodbye 2020 sound like a lot of fun. I cannot wait to start this journey with the both of you. If the audience wanted to also participate in taking this journey with you, how would everybody get started, and where do we go?
So if you go to Incandescent Women, and that's incandescent with a K.com, INKANDESCENT women.com. For years, I've been teaching people to spell incandescent wrong, but at least how to spell a version of it. They will see what we've got cooking. Every month, we have a different cover story. The What's Next project started in August of 2020, where Cynthia and I launched it. And the journal will be ready for sale this month. The first month is free, the December issue. And then January begins. And we are just so excited to share that. And I will share one more thing about this journal. One of the important things Cynthia mentioned was the vision board. And in the introduction, we teach people how to create that so that they can, from a Post-it note to poster board, you cut out the images of what you imagine your life to be, and you start placing it down. And this Martha Beck program that I just finished, it's a huge tool because it's amazing what magic happens when you start putting it in front of you. It's that subliminal message that Cynthia was talking about. It comes true. And you have the life because it's already in there. It's about unlocking it. So at incandescentwomen.com, we are all about sharing these big ideas and helping women achieve their goals and dreams.
I am so excited to do this. Before we wrap up, I have a couple of questions to ask the both of you. Are you ready?
Sure.
Ready.
And I have once again mix them up because everybody's very smart and they start studying the answers to the questions because they think that they already know what I'm going to ask. So I try and mix it up a little bit to keep everybody on their toes. So my first question is taking a little bit of license from Cynthia's TED Talk that was titled Taking Our Place in the Future. So Cynthia, I know that you meant that for technology, but what does that mean for you, for us as women, for 2021?
Wow, that's a great question. We walk on a line that's intended just for us. And one of the things that you think about is that the word aloha means goodbye and hello. And life is like that. And when you step in and realize that you really can, it's almost like everything happens for a reason, and it's intended to be. And when you set and you realize how you're part of that story, that is really where we exist. It's my husband and I met, and we talk all the time about how I had heard his name, which is just a common name from somebody else, and I don't know why it resonated with me. And it's like when we met, our souls knew that, oh, this is the person, even though we did everything to fight it, we were supposed to be together. And that's what life is. And step back, pause, and look at your life and see how absolutely destiny works in it. It is the magic of the universe and the world we live in. And feel safe and understand even the tough times can lead to the most beautiful times of your life.
That is such an amazing perspective. Hope, I ask you the very same question.
Oh, golly. I think just really living in the moment is the path to the future because, we look around and everything that we thought was going to be or possibly could have been is possibly not. And, it's exciting to have a new administration on the horizon. It's exciting to start this new year with possibilities. But this global pandemic seems to be getting worse every day. And, there's a lot to be frightened of because of that. But I still think, you just got to enjoy each moment, each day, and take it for what it's worth. And sometimes I'll have a conversation with fear. One of the things that I'm learning to do through this Martha Beck program is this sequence of a thought, a feeling, and action, right? So when you can step back from it and say, I'm having the thought that I'm really worried about the future, then you can get curious and you go, huh. And before I turn it into a feeling and an action, like I freak out, I just take it back to that step of I'm having a thought that, and I can feel it in my body. My body compass is telling me something, but I don't have to act on it. And also I can choose to act on it in a really positive, loving way. Like, I'm okay right now. Everything is okay right now. And that's all I've got. So I think that's how I approach life.
That sounds like an amazing exercise for all of us to participate in is approaching life with a more positive mindset. So in that same theme, what is it that you want to give away in 2021?
I love sharing with women how big their possibilities are and how empowered they are. And that is my greatest joy. I love working with young women and helping them see that. And any woman who's standing up and saying, I want to start my own company, I want to move forward. I love working with Hope and helping her see all of the things and all of the possibilities. And I'm that friend that you have and call and I say, I have an idea. And my husband hears me on the phone saying that. And he always in the background yells, whoever you are, hang up now. I love playing in the place of possibilities and ideas and doing the improbable. That's the place I like to be, because when I see women shine, like both of you, it just thrills me beyond belief that these amazing women are going to change the world. And it is time for women now to be here changing the world.
I agree 100%. Hope, what do you want to give away in 2021?
Well, first, I want to tell you that Cynthia is not kidding. That is her message. And she has been such a great teacher in this process. It's such an honor to work with her because we're starting a coaching program through incandescentwomen.com where coaches can come together and we represent them, because ultimately Incandescent is a public relations and public publishing company. So we just, no matter how I cut it, I can't get around. I just want to help people, shine up their diamond and show it to the world. So we are really just together embracing as many women as possible. Cynthia is coaching and mentoring. We have another colleague, Tony Farmer, who I launched the Black Lives Matter radio show with, and we just recorded our 6th episode on Incandescent Radio. And we're just really trying to get people's voice out there so that, we can make better decisions, because we get to meet people and people aren't, just Black or white or Jewish or Catholic or whatever they are, but they're people. And I think that's just so important. So that's my mission moving forward forever. Another thing that's really important to me, and Cynthia and I are in collaboration on this, is working to help stomp out domestic violence. The October issue of Incandescent Women featured Tracy Schott, a filmmaker in Pennsylvania who did a piece called Finding Jen's Voice after she was alerted to the fact that one of the leading causes of death during pregnancy is murder. And she did a documentary about it and contacted me to help, spread the word. And so we're joining forces to make sure that no one picks up a gun, a basketball bat to a woman ever again. So, and we're bringing people together. The more educated we are, the bigger our sisterhood is, the more powerful we are. And, it's not about powering over men. It's just about being in our personal power. So I would give that away every second of every day. And I plan to.
And I join you with that, because that's part of what this platform is about, is to empower all women everywhere. I have a last question, and it's not nearly as hard as the first two. And it's one of my favorite questions to ask because the responses are fascinating and my audience loves the responses. So the question is, what book do you think everyone should read?
I think my favorite book that changed my life was by Louise L. Hayes, and it was one of those pivot books for me. There's two. Louise L. Hayes, which is The Powers Within You, and understanding the conversations we have with women we grow up, that we begin to adopt a victim mentality, which means everything that happens to me bad is my fault. When you begin to understand that you don't, if somebody invites you to the party and is in some way treating you not as well as you should be treated, you don't have to stay. So that's a power shift that women need to have. And other people's stuff is their stuff. Yours is yours. And the other book I love is The Dip by Seth Godin. And the reason I love this book, it talks about how when we're getting ready to take on a project, just like what you're doing here, Audra, and what Hope's doing, in the dip, you go, there's going to be a lot of highs and it keeps you going and you love what you're doing. But the dip is the moment we all hit where it's so hard. It's like, am I going to work through the dip? Am I going to hang in there? Am I going to study that tough course? Am I going to do it? And that's where you've got to be prepared. And I always tell people, make sure you know and try to early on recognize your dip, because if you do, it'll save you a lot of time because you're going to hit it, and be prepared for how you're going to work through that so that you come out on the other side.
Ooh, very, very good. I'd heard of the one by Louisa, but not that one. So I need to double check and check that one out. Hope, same question. What book should everyone read?
I think I have, as a writer, I have thousands of books. I've given away thousands of books, and, I could tell you 10. But the one that, when you said it, and I always go with my intuition, I would say everyone should read Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. I find that book, that memoir of her journey, just so powerful. In fact, Incandescent is named after that because I was interviewing an amazing woman in Manhattan who had wrote the chemistry.com questionnaires, Helen Fisher. And I was coming back to DC from New York, and I picked up the Amtrak magazine, and there on the back page, Annie Perlich said, Elizabeth Gilbert's book is Incandescent. And I just went ding, 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 Incandescent Public Relations. And a month later, I started that company. So, and I just felt like, that journey was a woman's journey, a journey of courage, of saying she went to Italy, India, and Indonesia, and just had a ball. So, I think we should all embrace that. And I'm a big fan of Elizabeth Gilbert and her writing, which truly is incandescent. The other book that I absolutely love, and it's sitting here next to me at my desk, is called That Which You Are Seeking Is Causing You to Seek. And it was gifted to me in the 90s before I had my kids, and it really jumped out at me. And I've had it on my bookshelf ever since. And it's by the Center for the Practice of Zen Buddhist Meditation. And it just resonates with me because it's that kind of that Buddhist riddle, right? And it's so true. That which I am seeking is causing me to seek. And why is that? And what is that? And so I get to go deeper in myself, just, with those words, those 10 words.
Wow. That is something that I think I need to go check out, because 2020 has been an education for me. It has been a year of growth, a year of challenges, a year of new possibilities. And I thank you both for being here with me and being part of the new growth that I've experienced in 2020. I'm looking forward to going on this journey with you in 2021. But before I say goodbye to you both, I want to give you the opportunity to have one final statement to the audience. Hope, I'll have you go first.
Well, I just want to thank you, Audra, and I have to say in non-condescending way how proud I am of you and how honored I am to be part of your journey as well. You're really taking strides to change your life and help others. And who knows where your project will go? This podcast is beautiful. You're incredibly articulate and big-hearted. And I just thank you for the privilege of knowing you.
Thank you. truly the pleasure is all mine, but thank you. I appreciate you saying that very much. It means a lot to me. And Cynthia, your opportunity.
Well, Audra, I think you're amazing. I can hear the power in your voice and this journey you're on of learning and your desire to find all this wisdom through other people. And I love that. And I love hearing you and I love hearing your interviews. And the one thing I want people to share is to seek joy. And I know that this is a very tough time in our life's journey. But always, even in the darkest moment, and I have them too with everybody else, every day you turn on the TV and you go, oh my gosh, what now? But know that you get to choose the term of your life and how you're going to respond. And make sure that you center yourself in a place where you have your own happiness. You are in charge of it and you can own it, and don't let anybody take that from you.
That is a perfect way to end today's discussion. I want to thank you both for being here with me. I am very excited that you are my last guests of 2020. Like I said, I'm looking forward to 2021. And to all of you, to my audience, that has literally changed my life. I cannot thank you enough for what you all have done. To all of my guests, to all of the audience, you have changed my life, and you're enabling me to change others' lives. So thank you for going with me on this journey, and thank you for continuing with me on this journey in 2021. Again, Cynthia and Hope, I want to thank you both for being here. And I want to say a cheers and toast to all of you. Thank you and cheers to 2020. And here's to 2021.
Amen.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista, baby 2020. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you, Audra.
Thank you.
That's our show. Thank you all so much for coming. You know that this doesn't get done in a vacuum, so I want to make sure that I recognize and thank each and every one that contributes to the success of this show. Number one, our guests. Your willingness to be vulnerable and authentic continues to blow me away, and I cannot thank you enough. Second, my audience. You guys are amazing. When I put out the call for your help, you always respond. Thank you so much for your continued support, and I hope we continue to earn your time. Producing this show every single week is a true joy and pleasure, but it is definitely not done singularly. I have an entire team that is helping me produce this and publish this for you. Savannah Boster manages our social media. Alan Bruckner is our creative artist. Star Diva is the composer of our music. Jessica Fechner is our operations. Tisha Lucero is our people person. Tina Lindsay is our marketing person. And Gavin Egan, who helped start it all. Thank you all so much for coming, and we'll see you again next time.
This is just the beginning.
That's our show. I am so grateful for each and every one of you and your unwavering support and your continued belief in this movement that has become much bigger than me, much bigger than just a podcast. It has become this forward momentum that we are all doing together. If you are ready, or you know somebody that is ready to tell your story and share your value with the world, please connect with me. You can reach me at audra@womeninthearena.net. I am so honored and thankful that you will share your story with me, and I'll make sure that it is well taken care of. I will never stop thanking each and every one of you, and I cannot wait to talk to you again next week as we share another woman's story and we celebrate her doing extraordinary things in plain sight. We'll see you next time.
This is just the beginning.